Chancellor Palpatine, in light of this unprovoked attack on Coruscant, and the vulnerabilities it raises, I propose the Republic purchase an additional 5 million clone troopers.
Hello. Today we are going to be talking about something slightly different, and we're going to be talking about a movement and thought process that is used by people on the right most consistently, and this is a concept called civility politics. Civility politics is a dog whistle almost in and of itself, so that's why it's in this series, but it's more of like a practice. People don't use the term civility politics. So, what is it? Civility politics is the practice of seeing someone's political position as stronger in, for example, a debate if they don't get emotional. They don't shout, they don't lose their cool, if it's it's all about a game of optics. So why is it a pile of crap? Why is it dangerous to believe that facts don't care about your feelings, or that feelings undermine a point? Easy. Usually the people getting emotional have skin in the race. Shall we look at an example?
Okay, now we get to the most controversial portion of the evening. And that is facts about transgenderism. So this, of course, is what the left is very upset about, because every time I say that a man is a man and a woman is a woman, and a woman can't magically become a man, and a man can't magically become a woman, and no, I will not call you a woman if you're not a woman, and no, I'm not going to describe you as she if you're not, in fact, a biological she, people on the left get very uptight. So I will reserve my opinions on all of this until the end, although you just heard them, but I will... I'm going to give you some facts now, okay? These are not disputable facts. For the most part, okay? So if you dispute the facts, you can cite the studies and you can argue with the authors of the studies. I'm going to give you facts that come not from me, but from studies and from medical literature and from reviews, okay? And then you can argue with those. Okay, this is undisputed. There are two sexes. There are not 9. There are not 11. There are 2. Okay, if you have a Y chromosome, you have a Y chromosome, then you are typically male. People without a Y chromosome are typically female. We all learned this in 5th grade biology. Variation may exist in a tiny percentage of the population. This would make you intersex. It would not necessarily make you a person of the opposite sex.
So, in this example of Ben, I can't get my wife wet, so it's the left that's wrong, Shapiro lists out his transphobic comments right off the bat. He does it fast, he does it succinctly, he does it without getting emotional. However, is he right? Well, no, quite simply. So, gender is derived from how you are seen socially. How you interact, how you express yourself. It has absolutely nothing to do with biological makeup. For example, you go to a pantomime and you see the dame playing their role, and, you know, during that performance, the dame and the actor are a woman. Okay, the inherent of the character isn't changed by their genetic or chromosomal makeup. They just wear the dress, wear the makeup, the works. That's how it works. That's called gender expression. And all of us express our gender in a way that we want the character of who we are to be seen. There you go, a little crash course in gender studies. And today, obviously, I'm presenting as a little alien in a wizard hat. Doesn't that say a lot about me? Anywho, if Ben is so categorically wrong, why do people agree with him? Simple. It's the same as any pickup artist and confidence guru would tell you to get your life together, say something with enough confidence that people will believe you. That literally Johnny Bravo situation of, if you can fake sincerity, you can fake anything.
Well, you know, Johnny, you've got to act polite, thoughtful, and considerate. But no one ever said you gotta mean it. Heck, I'd tell a girl I could turn lead into gold if it'd get her to date me. I'd just be sure to say it in a sincere, sensitive way.
Come again?
The easiest way to a woman's heart is sincerity. If you can fake that, you've got it made.
If you tie that with the fact that he uses people's preconceived biases, their lack of understanding in a certain field, and so much more, then it's even easier. Now, let's have a little look at something else and have a little understanding about what the flip side of this issue is. So when we look at what our right-wing and centre-right friends seem to love, they always love the screaming SJWs, like the typical triggered memes. One of the biggest examples of this has been covered by Chud Logic in this clip.
Tiny. How many women in the U.S. get raped? Do you know how many? 1 in every 3 women. That means that all Americans. That's a crisis. There's a rape crisis. Exactly.
Oh my god. I don't know what this statistic.
This shows an individual getting emotional and louder in a conversation. This is not seen as the civil discourse. This is why this person is not deemed to be a source of reliable information when they are speaking on the information with statistics, not just buzzwords in that conversation. Another example of this can be seen with Andrew Neil's discussion with Ben Shapiro. I wonder who that is. I've never heard of that person before. But it can be seen here.
Banning abortions after a woman has been pregnant for 6 weeks is not a return to the Dark Ages. What's your answer?
My answer is something called science. Human life exists at conception. It ought to be protected. Now, back to my question to you. You purport to be an objective journalist. BBC purports to be an objective down-the-middle network. It obviously is not. It never has been. And you, as a journalist, are proceeding to call one side of the political aisle ignorant, barbaric, and sending us back to the Dark Ages. Why don't you just say that you're on the left? Is this so hard for you? Why can't you just be honest?
Mr.
Seriously,
Shapiro,
it's a serious question.
Mr. Shapiro, if you only knew how ridiculous that statement is, you wouldn't have said it. I just asked you a question.
And I asked you a question. You failed to answer a single one of mine. Frankly, I find this whole thing a waste of time. If you want to read the book and critique the book, why don't you read and critique the book? If you want to critique me, you can think whatever you want of me.
Why don't you
frankly,
just try and
I don't
answer
care.
the
I don't
questions?
frankly give a damn what you think of me since I've never heard of you.
And I've never heard of you until I briefed myself for this. But that's not the issue. You have a
Then
new
why the hell
book
are you
out,
interviewing
and
me,
it's an interesting book. But my point is, your book claims that
Well, it'd be
society...
nice if you would quote it from time to time.
Your book is... Well, actually, I've done so several times, and I'm about to do so again, if you would let me just finish the question. Your book
frankly, I don't
claims
think
that society
honestly,
is turning its back
sir,
on Judeo-Christian values.
Yeah,
What are those values?
What
are the values it's turning its back on?
I'm not inclined to continue an interview with a person as badly motivated as you as an interviewer. So I think we're done here. I appreciate your time, sir.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time and for showing that anger is not part of American political discourse. Now, Mr. Shapiro, we'll say goodbye.
When Neil delivers his points calmly, as Benjamin proceeds to talk over him repeatedly, and then leaves the interview in a strop. But what can we expect of a little boy of only 420 months? Also, 420, right on. With this use, we can see that though the arguments of Shapiro never change and his views don't, we can spot eagerly that it is the emotions that try to make him seem either reputable or a disgrace to all he's achieved. This is where the myth of civility politics comes into effect, and can be seen in places like the Houses of Commons, Question Time, and others where those emotionally invested can, to some, come across as too focused on feelings, to not acknowledge the facts on the issues that they need to cover. Now, if you are someone who can dehouse someone with little or no empathy, looking at them as simply an obstacle, that doesn't make your views morally correct. It makes you unempathetic. So, as we can see the inverse, because you have an emotional time discussing certain points, does not mean you know considerably less than the person you're debating, disputing with, or even rebuking the notions of. So, when you see someone feel emotion when they speak about their issues, be it LGBT phobia, racism, sexism, institutionalized issues, or anything else, to be a better person, follow these steps. 1. Allow them to compose themselves properly, so as the conversation or discourse can continue. 2. Moving the conversation out of the public space, if possible. Emotional outbursts when talking about serious issues is not a spectacle. It is merely an outcome of potential stress and other such things. Number 3. Talk with them to understand how deep of a connection to this issue they have, and provide where you have an emotional distance. This helps you both look at things in good faith with one another. Number 4. Respond only to their points, not their emotions in your words. So avoid teasing or bringing up such emotions to bolster up your argument. Number 5. Allow for there to be an open discussion if the other person cannot emotionally continue the conversation. If it is an open debate, offer to reschedule and then ask if there are any reading materials you can have to see their perspective and you can offer them. Number 6. Do not be afraid to lay down your pride. You do not have to bully that person into submission. The reason I suggest these rules is that right-wing figures thrive on shows of power and dominance. Look at the terms used to describe Ben Shapiro's victories, like destroyed, decimated, crushed, and even raped. To avoid becoming like these people, learn to show some empathy to those you are discussing things with, as those who show emotional vulnerability in the forms of fear, crying, tears, screaming, they usually come from an ideal of someone of a marginalized group, and what you are saying may mean a lot more terrible consequences for them than you. You know that privilege thing that Tumblr liberals were banging on about for so long? It's that. Now all of these rules apply, unless it's like this fucker.
Everything that we're supposed to do, trying to express opinions, and the criminals are over there getting their way. And that is a foundational problem with our society. And whatever you think of my opinions, that's going to be something that puts you in danger.
Yeah, and that is because this city is run by Jewish communists and criminal niggers. That's exactly what it is.
So you're the true nonviolent protesters.
I'm not even saying we're nonviolent. I'm saying that we didn't aggress. We did not initiate force against anybody. We're not nonviolent. We'll fucking kill these people.
Watching CNN talk about this as violent white nationalist protests, we have done everything in our power to keep this peaceful. You know, I know we talk a lot of shit on the internet, right? But like,
and any of his neo-Nazi ilk, they don't get empathy or sympathy. That goes out the window when you advocate for removing the freedoms of others and harming people, or even eliminating and exterminating them. They can just fuck off. As a little aside, would you like to watch this little video?
What's something you'll get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud?
Liberal pacifism is going to keep getting leftists of color killed, and they will keep doing it no matter what the fuck we say about it. So some white guy on this app made a really controversial TikTok, basically saying that joking about breaking Nazis' arms is really bad and it makes us look bad, and that's the reason why the right are becoming more radical. Which, no, the reactionary right is only becoming more radical because we're changing the status quo and it makes them uncomfortable. But just because violence is generally bad doesn't mean that we should stop using violent means to defend ourselves while also making jokes about it. Because here is the thing. Debating with the reactionary right does not work because they don't give a fuck about winning the debate. What they care about is getting their message out there and making you look stupid on camera, whether or not you're wrong. Look at the way that Ben Shapiro debates college students who don't have any fucking credentials. All he is there to do is dance around the whole point of the argument while pissing off the person he's debating with. Same shit with Steven Crowder. That's the reason why Ethan Klein refused to debate him. Because Crowder wanted to abuse the fact that Klein is not an expert in this field. Debating these people is fucking useless. Because even if you go in with the intent to educate these people, they do not care about what we have to say. All they want to do is live in their bubble where they can do their Roman salutes and shout white power and maybe lynch a trans woman. Is violence bad? Yes, of course it is. I'm not denying that. But insinuating that we should let marginalized people die in order to maintain the higher moral ground is completely asinine and extremely ignorant. We should be teaching people of color, trans people, non-men, queer folk. We should be teaching all of these people how to defend themselves, how to arm up, how to purchase a gun legally, etc., etc., etc. And bullying these people off of platforms like TikTok is the least of our fucking problem. Because in case you haven't noticed, even when they try to create their own echo chamber somewhere else, Parler, Getter, etc., all that ends up happening is that people like us, just for the meme, infiltrate their platforms and either completely shut them down or make them borderline useless. If Parler still exists, it is limping along because hackers are able to exploit their weak-ass security. Getter is starting to fall apart because leftists keep infiltrating and posting the pig poop balls meme of all things. Chasing these people out of public forums and out of public spaces should be our main goal. If they are already sucked into the fascist black hole, there is no getting them out. There is no making them learn unless they want to. Otherwise, they are going to keep killing us, and playing nice with these people is only going to get more of us killed. Get the fuck off of your high horse, and let us do what we need to do to survive in this world.
Hello there, friends. It's me, still. I'm now a penguin. That's it. That's how gender work. I can be a penguin on will. So yeah, be nice. Anywho, if you like this video, if you like what I talk about, if you like all of this stuff, I would really appreciate if you can like and subscribe and share it. A lot of the stuff I do on here means I can't monetize things. It's very difficult to say, hey, YouTube's business practices are really crap, and then go on to try and say how they should pay me money for saying that. So instead, I would really appreciate if you find the capacity to drop some money in the Patreon, because at the moment I'm able to do these pretty frequently because obviously I have some level of you know, basically my wife is looking after me. And I'm also doing some voice acting work and all that kind of thing. So if you want to see me do these things, if you want to see me go further, and you want to support my work, please do not hesitate to drop some money in. It would be a massive godsend, if I'm honest. So thank you very much, and have a lovely week, day, month, or even your year. No, that's not even a thing. And I hope to see you again. Thank you.